What's up guys, Mike from FlightClub. In this video, I'll be doing the power mod for older Fatsharks to be able to use the ImmersionRC rapidFIRE module. This video will be the power mod only. Once I get to use this more, I'll do a more in-depth review on the actual performance and the features. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what you get. Alright, so you get the... Let's just dump everything out. Alright, so you get the actual module, and it looks like it comes with two face plates. This one is for the Dominators and the HDOs, and it looks like this one is for the Attitude V4s, I believe. And inside you get the new faceplate, a ribbon cable, a little module for the ribbon cable, and then you get some stickers. Alright, so if you're using the newer Fatshark goggles like the Attitude V4 or the HDOs, it's pretty much plug and play. You just plug the module into your new goggles and you're ready to go. But for older goggles like my trusty Dominator V3 non-HD, you have to supply the module with more power. There's two ways to do this. You can use the included ribbon cable, and this plugs into this little module that they give you, and this module goes into this bay. You just plug it into this bay, and then the ribbon goes across on the outside of your goggles, and then this other end will plug into the other end of the goggles. But or you can do the simple mod to the goggles. I couldn't find any instructions on how to do this mod or videos on how to do it, so I reached out to ImmersionRC and they showed me how to do it. The actual mod is actually super simple. The hardest part is opening up the goggles to get to the component. I've already done the mod to these goggles and I confirmed that it works. The way I do it is completely reversible, so I undid the mod and I'll show you start to finish on how I did it. So, before you do this, please note, I am not responsible for any damage you do to your goggles. If you don't think you can do this mod, reach out to ImmersionRC and they do provide a service for them to do this mod for you. Alright, so let's get started. So I'm going to put all this stuff to the side because I'm not going to need these. Alright, so first I'll show you when you plug this in, what it's supposed to look like before you do the mod. So I'm going to take all this stuff out. Let's go ahead and just take this off. And then when you plug it in, just line up the pins on the little thingy. Just plug it in, and when you turn it on. Okay, hope you can see that. So push the button down, and then just scroll over to About. And then before you do the mod, you'll see this thing right here. It says low power, yes. So when you after you do the mod, it should say low power, no. Alright, so once we do the mod, I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. Alright, so first we'll do the hardest part of the mod, which is taking the goggles apart and getting to the actual component. First, we're just going to remove your battery and then remove your head strap. Oops, sorry. And then there's actually only 4 screws that hold the whole goggles together, and it's this bottom one. The rest of the goggle is just held on by a bunch of clips, and if you don't know where to press, it's a little bit scary to get this thing open. So I'm going to remove the 3 bottom screws and then the one right here on the faceplate. You can leave your foam on because the faceplate comes off in one piece and you don't have to take it off. Alright, so there's all 4 screws and then the faceplate. To get the faceplate, you get a little tiny flat head, and then there's a little holes right here. There's little tabs right here, right here, right here, and right here that hold this faceplate together, and it kind of sandwiches the the front or the top and bottom half together. So just stab this little thing and it should clip out like that. Oops, clip back in. Just make sure you hold it so it doesn't go back. Yeah, it's always a little scary to do this. Alright, one more clip and this whole faceplate should come out. There you go. This goes to the side. And then now you're left with the goggles. So I noticed that there's like a little clip right here under the bridge of the nose. If you push this part down, it should unclip the thing that holds this thing together. So I think there's a clip here, and then there's like, I think 3 clips in the front. You really don't need to remove any stickers over here because we're going to open it up like a clam. So just go here and just kind of push it down. And the whole thing should just kind of come apart. Just like that. Alright, so the part that you need to modify is over here. It's the one with the HDMI and the little switches and stuff. So just open this up, and then there's a little ribbon that connects. Just pull this out. There's a little ribbon that holds this module in. To get this out, you just slide this little black part back, and then the ribbon will come out easily. So put this aside. So here is the HDMI module. So the part that you need to modify is right here. When we actually do the actual soldering, I'll put it under the macro so you can see what I'm doing better. But we need to, well, the instructions from ImmersionRC says to remove this part labeled L1, but these little surface mount things are super hard to remove if you don't have like a heat flow gun. So what I do is just put a little jumper across this end and this end, because electricity travels in the path of least resistance. So if we put a jumper across here, it's going to bypass this component and just basically bridge this these two ends. So I'll put it under the macro and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is the actual part that you will be putting a jumper across. It's the part labeled L1 on the back side of this board. So the way I do it is I just made a little piece of wire that I'm going to use, as a jumper wire. I'm just going to solder each end of this to bypass this component. Alright, let's see if I can do this while filming. It really helps if you pre-tin your wire and put a little bit of tin on the actual component. Alright, that's pretty much the mod right there. Alright, so you can see all I did was put the jumper wire on both ends of the component. So what it's going to do is this short circuit is going to make the electricity just flow from here to here and bypass this component. So this mod is completely reversible. If you want to reverse this mod, just remove your jumper and it'll be back to stock. So once the mod is done to the board, you can put everything back together. When you put in this ribbon cable, just make sure the silver parts are facing the bottom of this board. And just slide this into the connector. And then push this black thing back on there, like that. And then put this back in. Basically just going to do everything in reverse. Oops. And make sure you seat this in the little slots. And then, as you can see, I put the power switch mod on my goggles. If you want to know how to do this, I have a tutorial on my website that shows you step by step and the part number of this button. I think it makes it way more handy than trying to plug this thing, the power in all the time. It's kind of annoying. Alright, so just put everything back together. There's little clips in the back, just kind of line those up and make sure the wires aren't getting pinched. Put this back in. Just that. Put this back in. And then just snap your faceplate back on. Bang. Done. And then put your screws back in. So as you can see, the mod is actually really simple. The scary part is just getting these goggles to come apart. But once you know where the clips are, it's really easy to get open without breaking the shell. And then put in a little faceplate. Alright, so once you got the goggles back together, I'll just show you that the mod worked. So go ahead and plug the module back in. And then I'm going to plug in my battery. Turn it on. Alright, and then I'm going to scroll to the About section. Whoops, push the button and then scroll over. About. So now you see that the low power says no and the power is 4.9 volts. I think earlier it was like 4.3 or something. But anyways, if you see the low power no, that means the mod has worked. Alright, so I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, I'm going to have a full post on my website with diagrams and pictures on how to do this mod step by step. If you have any other questions, put them in the comments below on the website, and I'll answer them a lot faster than the comments on the YouTube. So, as always, thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe.